Hello, lovely souls. Welcome back to Pushpam channel. Today, let's talk about hand-brain model by Dr. Dan Siegel. He's a child psychiatrist from UCLA, Los Angeles. Actually, he explains how the childhood brain, our in general, our brain affected by childhood wound, otherwise called childhood trauma. So let's say this is our brain. So like the brain, like this is the front part. So this is the back of the part, and then there is like a inside. There is like other lobes of the brain, right? So I will explain it. So this is let's say this is the our spinal cord, and then this is the brain stem. This is the bottom of the brain, and then there is amygdala. This is amygdala. This is where our whenever we get triggered or we get scared, anything that triggering, so this amygdala get hyperactive. The stress hormone and everything activate the amygdala. So and then there is another lobe, it's called hippocampus, also located next to amygdala. It is the memory, so past memory and present memory. This is the learning center. This amygdala is called also the emotional brain. It is like a 500 million year old brain, meaning it's from lizard. When the lizard evolved, so they are constantly the lizard. It's also called lizard brain. It's like constantly looking for survival, like monitoring for survival. So that's how it is hyperactive. So it is good to have this part, because whenever there is like a suddenly the car crossing in front of us, then we just have to, the amygdala get activated and it protect us, right? So this is a part. And then the memory brain, that is the hippocampus. It is separate what is the past memory from the present memory. That is the part. And then there's a prefrontal cortex. It's a logic brain and thinking brain. This also regulates our emotional nervous system. So this is where the parasympathetic, sympathetic, autonomic nervous system in the brain stem. So it's when it's get activated according to what is the trigger, the emotions. So if it is a trigger response, the sympathetic nervous system get activated. So we get palpitations, sweating, and the nervous and everything. So parasympathetic response is like it slow down our heart rate, and it kind of relax. It will help us to relax. So we have to, when you take a deep breath, so that's when the parasympathetic nervous system get activated, and then this all the neurons are interconnected. So the prefrontal cortex helps to regulate our whole body. So this, unfortunately for children, the prefrontal cortex, the thinking brain, logic brain, it's not developed until late 20s, no, mid 20s, 25, 26 years, according to Dr. Dan Siegel. So what is happening during the childhood, the first, especially first 10 early years, 10 years of life of the child, if the child, since it's developing part of the brain, so if the childs get triggered, meaning if the child consistently exposed to fear of whatever, right, fear and then stress, the prefrontal area flips. So it's he called, Dr. Dan Siegel called this is like flipping the lid. So the lid is open, right, like that. So meaning the logical brain already is developing, and then when it's stressed and then it's not connected. So to regulate the children, right, regulate their emotions. So what is happening in amygdala during stress response? So it activates five response. So either we fight, or we fix, or we flee, or we avoid conflict freeze, or we fawn, like people pleasing and attention seeking. So these are the five response in general, the human being we tend to do. So that means our thinking brain is flipped. It's not connected. So we are full of in reactive mode, because amygdala is to take over, right? It took over. So how we can help our kids to regulate their emotions during the conflict, or the during whenever they don't listen to us, so we get reacted. So let's say this is our brain and this is our kids brain, right? So what is happening? So we think our kids is triggering us, not listening, or throwing the toys. So if we are like this, and then our prefrontal cortex will help to regulate our emotions. So in order to do that, we have to take a deep breath, pause and deep breath, then it just stays here, so that we can use our logic brain. We can try to understand our child and then we can respond to them well. Instead, what is happening during we get triggered, so we just, our brains flip the lid, meaning prefrontal cortex no longer working. So the amygdala is taking over, and then we are like kind of parents, we learned from childhood. So either you are fighter, like I need to fix him, I need to teach him a lesson, right, like that, or let me fix you, like that, don't cry, or we just, I cannot deal with it, just flew away from that area, or you just freeze, you just don't want, don't do anything, right, it's too much. So this is what we are doing it. So this a child is constantly, opposed to our emotional reaction. So their lid also, flipping. So their prefrontal cortex already is just developing. So it's just flipping, and then we are not helping our child to regulate their emotions. First, we are not like a container to hold their space, right? So this is what happening. So both like this. So what we have to the conscious parenting approach help us to take a deep breath when we get triggered, right? So take a deep breath, and then the parasympathetic nerve get activated, so that our prefrontal cortex is not like flipping right away. So we just keep our position right, like that, right? Maintain our logic brain. So it helps us to, take a deep breath. Okay, what is happening? It's nothing. It's not end of the world, right? Okay, what my kids need right now. We don't look at the behavior. Throwing toys, yes, he's throwing toys, that's the behavior. So let me look what he needs right now. So when you be regulating with our thinking brain, and then we can help our child to co-regulate. Okay, so this is called co-regulation. So we are empowering them. So that way they have a safe space to experience their emotions, even they are crying, or they are angry, upset, whatever, right? So we see still, we keep, it's not flipping. So we are also regulated, and then we are co-regulating our kids. So this is what we need. So that way, that's what the conscious parenting approach that teaches us, how to do that part. Hope this video helped you guys. If you like, childhood trauma or childhood wound caused by just not only the big abuse, sexual abuse or the physical abuse, it is also caused by neglect, emotional invalidation, yelling, screaming, intimidating, abandoning, not being seen, not being heard by the primary caregiver. So experts like Dr. Gabor Mate, Dan Siegel, all they call this trauma is a small t trauma.